Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And today we're going to talk about the InMotion V8s. So let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. Wait, let me do that clean once more, just without my hand for landing. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a bit too much. Oh. Nice. Whew, that's a bit frightening. Anyways, before we get into the video, I'm recording this on the Insta360 One X2, at least the footage that looks like it has been taken by a drone. The sound is coming from the GoPro as well as this sort of angle. But I wanted to mention that because Insta360 has a sale now, so feel free to use my description in the link below to get one if you always wanted an Insta360 camera. Alright, with that said, let's get on to talk about the ride of the InMotion V8s. And also big thanks to monowheels.com for letting me try this wheel. I'll have to give it back after a while, but yeah, thanks for allowing me to make some extensive tests with this very fun little small wheel. Anyways, I don't know where to start actually, because there has been already 3 generations of the V8s. I mean the V8. There's been the InMotion V8 introduced a really long time ago. There's been the V8, which I have been actually testing before, and now we have the V8s. So the thing with the V8s is that yes, it has a bigger battery. And it's important to mention that the bump in the battery capacity resulted also, of course, in a bump in range. I managed to go over 40 kilometers on this small wheel, which is pretty impressive for such a small wheel. Probably the thing that stood out to me the most right away is that it's wider here on the top, so I can actually grab this wheel now. Before I had trouble, especially because my legs are shaped like this, like an O, and now it's a lot better to grab it. As it is going to be just a ride review, I'm going to focus on the ergonomics of the wheel, but about the performance, you have to wait for the full review to see all of the details about you know, how durable it is, how well it works, etc., etc. I'm really happy to check out a smaller wheel again. I've been recently just testing, you know, the big chunks, and it's really refreshing to have a small wheel again. And I think that the thing that I like most about the V8s is just its practicality for small distance cruises, commutes. If you want to get into a store, it just can't be simpler than on the V8s, because you arrive at the store, fold one handlebar, click here. I'm doing it slow motion now. This the trolley opens up. You just need to grab it with your thumb, goes out, and flick the other pedal and you can walk again, and it locks in place. The trolley is maybe not the tallest one, but it works tremendously well. Actually, I was going through this park because another part of the park is locked for riding, and I was pushing it for 3, 4, 5 kilometers, and it was absolutely fine, actually quite enjoyable. So the trolley is great. The balance is great. It's a pretty light wheel at around 15 kilograms, so you don't feel it so much. And it's just easy to wield it around. And additionally, if you really feel like it, you can also take off your helmet. It's also small enough to put it here, to put your helmet here on the trolley handle. I don't know why I really include this into the ride. I guess it's a functionality ride thing that you just enjoy on day-to-day basis. I mean, having a good trolley handle, especially if you're commuting in addition to a train, or you just go in and out of places, you lift up the wheel, you push it, it's very crucial. And this works tremendously well on the V8s. Of course, there's also a lift switch, super easy. I can have the trolley handle in, out, push it in, push it out, and it just all works very seamless. Just to show you really quick how I usually do it when I enter a store. Just I arrive, and this is all of the movement that I do. And then when I want to go out, again, same thing. Sometimes it's a bit harder to fold out the pedals, but I've been getting used to it and it works fine. So Yeah, I really love this practicality part of the V8s. But this has been also in the V8 F, not really much has changed. And in general, I think that the ride didn't change that much apart from the wider top. Like, it's still a narrow tire. I think it's not the best for heavier riders. I ride it now at like 40 psi, 45. If you want to prevent like any flats, if you want to prevent damaging your rim, I would highly suggest riding at the upper end of the pressure, but this will not give you as much comfort as the lower pressure. But I think here we don't really have a good choice, because if we run at low pressure, we're just gonna bust the rim, or you need to be really careful then. Anyway, sorry, the street is pretty loud here. Anyways, this narrow tire at speed doesn't feel so safe. Like, it doesn't have any train tracking, but it just doesn't give you like the amount of feedback that a wider tire gives you. I really wish that they would add a 2.5-inch tire, or at least 2.25. But I guess maybe it will be just too close to a V10F, so maybe that's something that they wanted to avoid. For slower riding though, if you want to just like turn around and do some backwards riding, like go on one foot, like it feels very natural with all of the tricks. It feels great with maneuverability, especially at low speeds, because the foot plates are pretty high, so you don't have a big, you're not really scared of scratching them. But as said, at higher speeds, you just don't feel the stability. But check this out, you just turn and yeah, whoa! Can't scratch them, but it's not that easy. On the topic of pedals, even though they're high, I don't really like the pedal setup and the pedals themselves on the V8s. Well, reasons for that is very similar to other InMotion wheels. The pedal setup is very flat, so it's like easy to fall off the wheel, especially without any side pads. Probably for the main review I will try some side pads and maybe different pedals, but as this is how you're going to get the wheel, I wanted to show you how the ride experience would be out of the box. The setting is flat, you just can't really grip it that nicely when going into turns. The V5 has a lot of sharper angles, so I like that more. Even the V8, the first V8, it's like, it might be comfortable like for first-time riders, for the learners, but I think in general the pedal angle should be definitely steeper. The grip tape is also not the best. I feel like when it gets wet, it just gets very slippery. Like now we have like misty weather, a bit of moisture around, and I lose quite a bit of grip then. Not the biggest fan of pedals. Maybe they can improve on them in the future. The V8s is really zippy, and for most like city scenarios, even like a construction zone like you can see here, it will do the job pretty well. It's not an off-road wheel, way too thin of a tire for that, and also not enough torque and other things. But in general use cases, if you just go to work, if you just commute around, like this will be more than enough. It's very light, it reacts really quickly, on your lean, and water. It's also water resistant. I'm not sure if it has a rating, but these wheels have been really well known for their water resistance, so I wouldn't fear too much when riding in rain. The top speed here is around 35 kilometers an hour. Now, because of the tire that I showed you before, I don't feel that comfortable going with that speed on this wheel, but you can do it. And then you have tilt back, it will slow you down. Everything is pretty natural, I would say, in that case. There is no pedal dipping in turns, there's no pedal dipping in successive bumps. You can steer the wheel pretty accurately, and it reacts well both on your acceleration and braking. But for heavier riders, I would choose a different wheel, because this one just will not have enough torque. Well, unless you ride really carefully, because even without power pads, it's no problem for me to overpower the wheel. So since I've started using the V8s again, I've been actually pretty content with this wheel. I use it typically for like smaller errands, going around to stores, sometimes just like for a fun chill exploring ride. It's really a effortless wheel. It's not designed for higher speeds, obviously, and even with the 35 kilometers an hour, I don't really feel that safe on the wheel going that fast. So typically I top it out at like around 30, maybe 30 something. Also because of the lack of side pads, so I'm going to investigate that still a bit more. So actually, I guess that's it when it comes to the V8s. It's really just a simple product, a light commuter wheel. So in order to get more information about it, please wait for the full review. And if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.